Hi guys, welcome back to Tales of Arise. We are still on Lenegus. We have been just, getting the lay of the land, talking to everybody, learning all kinds of information, the viewpoints of the Renans. We are learning how the Renans are kind of just as oppressed as the Danans have been, but in a slightly different way, but not really. And today we're going to go into the Forbidden Zone and find out what we can find out there. Some useful information, some revelations, some incantations, some carnations. Alright, here we go. Pressing on forward. We have questions that need answers.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah.
Ah.
It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Or so we assume. Anime? Arenis Alma? Another flashback? What is this weird place that they do the ceremony at? It's like the wedge. That weird hive stuff.
There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Well, that didn't look friendly or good or pleasant in any way. Thorns? Did everyone see that one too?
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe... Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
I don't know.
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, More than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
I'm lost. I mean, the first to admit that I don't understand.
Let's keep moving.
The hoot and ha, what's going on
If
here?
it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
Is she practicing fishing? She's practicing fishing. Okay. Don't think I've noticed that idle animation yet. So the thorns came from the dark astral energy, and the dark astral energy has a sentience to it. It has a will, possibly, just like the Danon astral energy does. And yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of lost. But we're just gonna keep going. Well, there was a skit that I needed to do. Oh well. I think we can do it later.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns. As well as my own past, I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens.
Ooh. Okay, hold on. Turn back
Just
to the
need a little
time
time first.
being. Hold on. Can I... First, let's do the skit. Seeing visions.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Okay. Gotta be Naori then, right? So... Can I... Should I heal? Should I go back if I go forward? Is there gonna be a place for me to heal? It sounded like we were gonna go straight into a battle or something if we went through there. The message isn't a big deal as it sounds. So, like, we're not gonna go straight into a fight. Well, here's what I'll do. Use a couple orange gels. If they're wasted, no big deal. Let's get some answers. Or more questions.
Soon, I have to be ready to face anything.
Who knows?
Whatever
The only
happens,
way is forward.
I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
Go. Okay, if there is a boss fight, they'll give us another healy thing.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Okay. The Forbidden Zone. Let's hear about it. Tell me about this
The people
Forbidden
of
Zone.
Lenegus, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
Okay. Well, we know they did experiments on Danans to try to find the Sovereign, whoever could be compatible or whatever. Nobody survived except Alphen 300 years ago. An operating table, many subjects undoubtedly never came back alive from their operations on this.
I think I can make this work.
I can't read that. Somebody? Translate?
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign!
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores.
Okay.
With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
Can we put it
What
on
is
a drive
find
and
something?
go?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait. I think I've found one that was successful.
Well, Alphen, right? We already know that.
Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They've re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
Re-engineered?
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Can you spell it out for me?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was
Does that
a
mean
success.
Volron is a Renan too? I mean, a Danon too?
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
To collect astral energy.
But even supposing
Right?
that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The red
The
woman?
Red Woman?
Thanks.
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign. And Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Okay. Toying with lives.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of stuff to look at. Let's just read some more stuff. Select a topic to explore. Master cores. Master cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belongs to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these master cores, MasterCard, those with earth, water, fire, wind, and light, are loaned to Renan Lords at the time of the crown contest. Only the Dark Master Core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Renis Alma is ready to be reformed, its existence kept top secret. Reformed. Okay, so there aren't multiple Renis Almas. It gets reformed. And then they use it for whatever their purpose is, and then they have to create it again after they gather enough astral energy, I guess. Underneath the Master Core's spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. For the duration of their tenure, each lord competes in the crown contest to amass their allotted type of astral energy. So the dark one is probably siphoning astral energy from Renans because they are the only ones that have dark astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Addendum 1. Design flaws have been discovered in how the Renis Alma materializes. Be advised that active master cores may resonate with other master cores located in close proximity and become unstable. Addendum 2. Due to successful regeneration of the Renis Alma, master cores will cease to be deployed and the crown contest will be permanently halted. Okay. When was it halted? Is this like a long time ago? Or just now? I guess just now, maybe? Spirit cores. Spirit cores are end terminals used for the collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, the cores, those things in their hand, right? It establishes connections throughout the body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that Danans must be employed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the crown contest. Given the difficulty in producing them, it is advised that spirit cores be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit cores can also be embedded in Zeugles to control them via astral arts. Addendum. Increased physical load on a host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host bodies without including death for maximum astral energy yields is still pending. Okay. Alright. Make sure there's nothing back here. Alright, what about this? Lords. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority as well as 1 of 5 elemental realms to administer and its corresponding master core. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables, such as age, have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out a master core's power. All Renans must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event that an acting lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Okay, so that's what happened with Volron, I guess, in the previous Lord of the Water place. Unique Adjustment Index Test Subject Report. The following is a report on the second successful case of Sovereign Test Subject Experimentation. Test Subject 10105, given name Volron. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability along with a strong distaste for following orders. As such, the risks it poses surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure, and is therefore under consideration for disposal. Addendum. This is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. Subject is to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be displaced to Dana under the guise of serving as a lord. Okay. So, were they able to maybe get him to cooperate by telling him he could be a lord or something like that? Maybe. The Sovereign. The Sovereign acts as Lenegis' central control device for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Danan subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possessed equal affinity for every astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is not guaranteed for those who survive it. This instability, coupled with the Sovereign's powers of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. Yes. Alphen, left unchecked, has definitely become a high risk for the security of Lenegis. That is true. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternate methods to perform the ceremony have been found. Trials on Danan subjects are authorized to continue. Addendum 2. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. So... they do what now? In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. But that doesn't happen in the real world. So they do these things to the candidates to make them possess equal affinity, and most everybody dies through that process, right? Is that something? Is that kind of close? Okay, so they crafted Alphen to be like apt in all the different elements. Okay. The Maiden acts as the sovereign support mechanism for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Renan subject serves its functions, providing the sovereign with the supplemental dark astral it lacks, in tandem with the Renus Alma. During the ceremony, it is partly responsible for astral energy conversion, as well as maintaining stability over the sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between it and the sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, trial activations of the sovereign without the maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the sovereign nor the maiden are to be informed about the details of the spirit channeling plan. Addendum 1. Mental instability in the maiden has been deemed the cause of the past sovereign's rampancy. Countermeasures must be considered. So I'm guessing this is about Alphen and Naori. Mental instability in the maiden, maybe? Addendum 2. In line with plan adjustments, the current subject will have its maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. Okay. The current subject. Or is this talking about... This actually might be talking about Volron and whoever his maiden was. But I guess it's not really clear. Okay, this is fascinating. We're finally getting some answers on what all of this stuff is. Lenegus, a large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the astral composition of Dana's astral energy and transmits it to Rena. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, Maiden, and Renus Alma within the central core of Lenegus. So this is the ceremony, I think. It is comprised of classified and essential personnel residence zones around a large conduit along with a defensive layer surrounding them. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as a stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residential zones. We've seen that firsthand. However, because that only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address said damage is needed. Until that phase, Lenegus serves as the central base of operations for the management and execution of the crown contest on Dana. Warning, any personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from classified zone. Any violators will be immediately executed. Detachable harvester. That's the wedge, I guess. A massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony. It serves as the tip of Lenegus's conduit from which it separates. Upon landing in Danan waters, it extends 2 sets of conducting pathways. The vertical pathways connect to the center of Dana. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dana. Once activated, it links to the biological spirit vessels placed in each realm, effectively harvesting the planet's astral energy en masse. The accumulated energy is then transmitted to Rena via Lenegus. Because construction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator area, Lenegus's outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. No other personnel is required for it to function. Addendum 1. Detachable Harvester was lost on Dana after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. Addendum 2. Detachable Harvester 2's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. This is due to the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. But it's so confusing because they just say the Sovereign, and it's like, who are they talking about? Alphen or Volron or what? Like, I'm so lost here. Detachable Harvester 1 was lost on Dana after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. I'm guessing Alphen because we went and fucked up their wedge, right? Two's landing point will remain the same as the previous model, as in it hasn't landed yet, so I guess that would make sense. The explosion of the previous model altered the planetary topography. Did we notice anything like that after we... Enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. I don't know. Sedative mask. Is that Alphen's mask? A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized primarily as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device carries the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects. So what you're saying is you probably shouldn't leave that mask on somebody for 300 years? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Our boy got a little bit fucked up because of that? Addendum. Due to the loss of production facilities incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegus, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. Okay. Brainwashing report. After receiving reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. Okay, so this is about what was going on Ganeth Heros. The system is unique in that it elevates only the Lord as the supreme authority while relegating both Renans and Danans alike to enslavement. Test subject 10105 serves as the realm's current lord and has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. Rather, it has done so by sheer governance. Given this method's effectiveness at population control, monitoring of the situation will continue. Addendum 1. Collapse of cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear has proven to be the key of this style of rule. Once the subject loses its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is still suited for commanding officers, it remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Addendum 2. Soldiers in Lenegus who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. The results will be monitored. So those are the soldiers that we met here on Lenegus that were also brainwashed or whatever. Okay, there's more. There's more. It's showing this room's equipment has been used a long time. It's showing Lenegus's structures. You can see pipes for transporting astral energy sticking out of them. A notice, this area will now be shut down as the project proceeds to the final phase. Oh. It's equipment for storing human bodies, whether it held living or dead ones. They're all empty now. What's up with these plants, though? Alright, let's get out of here. We still have a lot of questions, don't we? A room unchanged over 3 centuries. It's like time itself has stopped here. Oh, I keep yawning. I'm sorry. Same notice, the place will be shut down for the final phase. You see lots of numbers, looks like logs of alignment between subjects and Lenegis proper. It's equipment for monitoring subjects. It probably had a failure disposal mechanism as well. Who's that? Dan and Astral Energy again?
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode.
300 years?
The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... if I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Elfin. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try.
The birth of Iron Mask.
I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Elfin. That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Elfin escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
He seems only a little bit messed up in the head. Okay, I know we're honing in on the time to end the stream, but I just want to see what's a little bit further. Forbidden Zone classified area. I feel like I do feel like if we go too much further though, we're gonna be coming up on something big, like a fight and some cutscenes. So I'm not sure if I should go further. I mean, I wouldn't mind going over like 10-20 minutes.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
This is where they did the ceremony.
After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
What you doing? You two? What you doing?
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony.
It's been 300, girl.
That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
That power, I'm guessing, is the thorns.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Ulma was lost, and Alphen the Sovereign was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Ulma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse on to my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
Okay.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danan voice speaking through her?
Okay.
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Xion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Xion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Xion at the same time.
Everyone's so
I, too, shall lend
excited,
my
but I'm
services.
still so
My
lost.
knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
I think it's too early to celebrate,
How
guys.
do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
Is the reason for your curse.
the thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Oh, skill panel. Haven't seen that in a while. Shion, latest maiden. We definitely have some SP to, like, stuff to look at later. Ooh, a sword given to the chosen sovereign that draws out all their latent powers so as to carry out the spirit channeling ceremony. Ceremonial garb given to the chosen sovereign, granting them the endurance to withstand the immense power of the spirit channeling ceremony. Las Fiarki. Ceremonial garb given to the maiden, capable of interfering with astral energy. It's worn to contain the sovereign's power. Okay. And we're wearing this now? Oh. Okay. Ah, look at us. Look at us. There are no weapons that I have that really have that blue. Alright, well, we better stop there before we get too into all this. But I am just like... Look at all our people. We got a brand new wallpaper thing. It's kind of hard to understand because we still don't really know who is behind all this, the red woman or someone above her, and what exactly their end goal is. But the spirit channeling ceremony is to gather all the astral energy and create the Renis Alma. So were the thorns supposed to be there? Or did they just happen on accident because of like so much dark astral energy being gathered, and then they had like formed a will of their own. I'm really, I don't quite understand exactly how all of this went down. I don't know. I still don't understand exactly what the spirit channeling ceremony was supposed to accomplish. But maybe we haven't learned that yet, because we don't really know who and why, the who and the why. But we know it went wrong because Naori didn't like what was going on, so she interfered. I might have to rewatch all that, I don't know. So yeah, we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot this stream. Like, the crown contest has nothing to do with choosing a sovereign. There's only been 2 sovereigns. Both of them have been failures. And supposedly the sovereign has supposed to have been like ruling and living on Rena for all these years. Like this whole time there's supposed to have been a sovereign, but since there's never been a sovereign on Rena, who's there? Who is it? No. I don't know. You often find this story in Tales games to be a bit abstract. Yeah, I had trouble following in Zestiria too. Probably Berseria to a degree as well. A little bit. But you know, maybe it'll become more clear as we go further in. Also, I might have to just kind of re-evaluate all the stuff that we learned, especially with regards to what we learned just now with the spirit channeling ceremony and what happened exactly with Naori and Alphen. Anyways, I should go.